YouTube on Whatnot. And as I'm doing all of this fun stuff, just kind of want to bring you back a little bit so it's not so cramped. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Whatnot and I'm going to start the show. And I hope nobody's, well, I mean, people always wait, but I hope I haven't been keeping people waiting too long. And I'm going to sip on some tea. We may or may not have tea to spill. But I've got a really special guest. I know you're going to enjoy meeting Custom Woodworking, and I'm not going to give too much away ahead of time. So let's get in there, let's get in here, and let's start the show. Every other week, I do a seller support that alternates topics. So I'm doing one each week. This week, it's how to Whatnot on YouTube. Excuse me, how to YouTube on Whatnot is this week's topic. Next week, it will be The Ship Show, and that is one of Whatnot's most popular seller supports. So I hope you're able to check out a episode or 2 or 5, and make sure you're watching the Whatnot playlist. The other thing you'll want to do is subscribe, because that is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any important updates or notifications. In fact, it's the only way I'm aware of. But if you've got some secrets, put them in the comments. I do like to know those sort of things. Okay, so here I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to shows. And I'm going to go to how to Whatnot on YouTube. How do you YouTube on Whatnot? I get them so backwards. But they're definitely different in their own special ways. Welcome in. Thank you for waiting. And I think we should be good. I think we should be good. Let me flip the camera around so I can see you. You can see me. I may need to make some adjustments because I'm working with a different setup slightly. And because with today's special guest, I think it'll make a little more sense once we actually get the show up and running. And welcome, welcome. Okay, so this is a little bit tall for me, but we might do some more adjusting later. Because when we have a special guest, we have a co-host feature. And what that basically does is, ooh, I look a little dark on this particular one. Let me see if I can adjust that. I'm going to keep playing with the lights, but let me see what we've got as far as the giveaway goes. Giveaway, giveaway, giveaway. We should have a giveaway. And I'm making a giveaway just as we speak. On seller supports, since I'm not really selling product, I just cover the cost, but sometimes people will actually tip, and that's basically what the tip is being used for, just to offset that postage cost. And I don't make them astronomical to begin with. Well, giveaways are the most affordable. Let's go wild here. And not that wild. Okay, and we're going to come up here and welcome in. So yes, we're live on YouTube, kind of. We're recording live. And the other thing is, I want to just do this part. So as you see me kind of doing this stuff on the screen, this is how, you know, as sellers, we can kind of get through these shows if we don't have them fully prepared in advance. And I really like that about Whatnot, is that we can still add things on the fly as we've got our show running. So we don't have to stop and restart. Oh my gosh, what a what an imagination. I was out at the pool yesterday. I am a little red. I'm just going to tell you that. And okay, so we're going to add that. I like that. Okay, shipping profile. And okay, it should work. Okay. Okay, we're going to start our giveaway. Okay, sorry for all the initial phases. So this is broadcasting to Whatnot. Get in that giveaway. And off to my side here, I've got YouTube live recording. And the reason I'm doing it this way is, and this different background, it will make more sense, I think, once our special guest comes in, who's custom wood burning. And we're going to talk today about different things that you can do with your videos Nothing difficult, but just adding certain elements that might give you a little bit more of a branded effect. So as you can see in my background, I usually have my trademark. Please don't use my trademark. Please don't use my trademark. Please don't use my trademark, but you can have your own. I'm going to try to adjust this lighting because I can see how dark it is. And you guys will have to help me out and let me know if this makes it better or not better. I was gonna say better or worse. Let's not hope for worse. I know it looks like I'm like right in the middle of the sun. Oh gosh. I look super red on this display. Is it coming across that way? And it could also be the shirt. The shirt might not be doing me favors today. Um, but yes, you want to make sure that if you are going to be doing YouTube with welcome in and thank you for rating. This is just the perfect time. Get in that giveaway. And today's special guest is going to be custom wood burning. And as you do that, I'm going to turn on another light in this general direction so that hopefully it'll offset some of this red that's coming through. And I don't know what to say other than I was at the pool yesterday, but I'm not that sunburned. Uh, at least I haven't, I can't feel it. So if I am that sunbird, oh my. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see if we get this better. I think a little better. Yeah, a little better. I just kind of have to be careful where I position myself, and that's on both cameras. And custom wood burning just in time. I was starting to get into some of our conversation because we're going to be talking today about ways that you can use some unique items and incorporate those into your shows and build up that brand recognition. And also, everything else I'm going to say, I think custom wood burning is probably more of an expert on. So let me bring custom wood burning on as co-host. The way I'm doing this for all of you sellers out there is I'm just clicking on their icon off to the left here. And then I just push a button that says invite to co-host. And I'm also going to allow to moderate at the same time. Okay. And it'll take a second. So there was a slight echo, but I think you're good. Okay. Uh, I think it should be okay. There. I'm just adjusting so I'm not so. Yeah, always, because the video feed is timed to the nanosecond to keep up with the auction clocks. So if it ever gets disconnected, it's probably just, it needs a quick refresh. And that is a handy tip that I've gotten from other sellers, other top sellers. But keep us informed about any kind of audio or video quality issues during the show because we want to make good use of your time. I respect you as business people, and I don't see custom wood burning, so I think what has happened is okay, I can hear you. I can't see you. Do you mind if I just take you off and put you back on? Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Custom wood burning. Coming back right now. And, okay. It looks really good. Yeah. And James Blonde, congratulations. Okay, let's get going. Hmm.
branding and stuff like that today.
Well,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
you're not wrong. You're just kind of in a higher level than many of us because you do custom woodwork, and that can really have a very strong effect if used properly, for business purposes. And we've talked a little bit about using it for giveaways, but as I was thinking about getting ready for this show, I'm thinking maybe even more as a way to kind of differentiate your top tier customers, your top 10%, or the ones who spend, like enough to pull in 80% of your business, maybe doing something special in that level. But you don't have to give us that answer today. It's just my mind really started thinking about it because every wood piece is truly an original. It is unique. And so I think that that's part of the magic.
Well, thank you. I agree. I do agree. Like with a lot of handmade sellers, it's definitely quality over quantity. You go with the one of a kind pieces because you're only one person and you're the streamer, you're the maker, you do the sourcing, you do the all the things, admin, photos, social media, packaging, shipping, everything's one person, and craft time is um, very time consuming, and so like sometimes you might only be able to make like a couple of things a week. A lot of handmade folks are part time.
Mm-hmm.
That starving artist, struggling artist
Yes.
thing is real, right? It's like it's difficult to get paid for your time, and so a lot just like do it on the side. It's kind of a side hustle. So yeah, every piece counts definitely, and more so than with resale.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for having me here, guys.
And you do a lot of really good seller support in general. So we want to answer questions that come through the chat, and we will do our very best to keep up. So make sure you're keep us on track, basically. We will end promptly on the hour. So this is a 1 hour show. And again, I respect your time as business people, and I really want to give you as much information as is helpful. Now, custom wood burning, you haven't yet gone onto YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Is that accurate?
I'm not active on YouTube, but I
Okay.
did create a channel
Oh,
probably 2 years ago, and I posted a few videos, but it didn't. Something wasn't right about it, and so
okay.
I just kind of paused it.
Well, maybe we can,
I plan to pick it back up,
yeah,
but
maybe
in a
we
more
can.
strategic way.
Uh, well, first of all, what do you mind giving us the name of the channel? Or maybe wait.
I think it's custom wood burning.
Okay.
However, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. It could just be. It could just be Tamika. It could just be my name. It could just be my name.
Okay.
But
So
I can send it afterward.
yeah, well, what I was going to say, if we've got somebody who can web sleuth for us, make sure you guys subscribe to it because that will definitely get your videos more attention. Subscribers definitely bring up your views, and
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, subscribers on YouTube, they don't get bombarded with stuff. It's just telling YouTube what types of videos you want to see in the future. So subscriptions are free, and if you can build up your subscriber base, that means YouTube has a better idea of an audience to kind of start suggesting your videos to.
That is a good point. I should probably work on subscribers while I'm creating content for it because I think the angle is going to be tutorial style,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily for whatnot, but for heat gun art. Because when I was learning the craft,
Mm-hmm.
it's really self-taught. I was, there's YouTube is a go-to for DIY,
Yes.
and I was trying to search for tutorials for heat gun art, and I couldn't find any. The craft has been around, I think, for only maybe 5 years, give or take, and so really I should have been doing it this whole time, but it's a missed opportunity. So I think that's where the niche would be is like the tutorial
Okay.
Subscribers in the meantime, so subscribe. Find me and subscribe.
Uh,
subscribe.
yeah. So I see Chardonnay Mason Creations. I think that's close to what it's supposed to sound like. Said that you can do a dual stream using your Whatnot Live and also put it on YouTube. I also think Facebook is still part of that feature, and that is
Yeah.
available on iPhones. So that's one way to do it. In If we didn't have a special guest, I would give you guys a little bit more technical, but yeah, it's available. And if it's just to get your stuff out there, absolutely, it's only going to help to have more content because you can always review it later and make private any videos that just don't turn out well. But again, just giving YouTube the impression, this is an active channel can really help.
That's a good point. And actually, oh, I got a gnat. How's this Chardonnay? Is that how you pronounce? So I was actually thinking of using that tool in a little bit of a different way, though. I don't. Stay on the shop. Have you tried a private stream multicasting? Because I was thinking it would be nice to be able to do YouTube videos without the upload, without the, be able to multicast over there, but just a dedicated for YouTube show, not for Whatnot. So if I do a tutorial via private show on Whatnot,
Uh huh.
but multicast it, it would really just be for YouTube. But I don't know if that actually works.
Yeah, we'll need to turn to the chat because I use Android, so I don't use the integration.
Okay.
But in that event, what you could do is just what I'm doing right now. I've got a device that's uploading to YouTube as a live, even though it's not publicly accessible. So I'll have more video footage that I can get some clips out of later.
Nice. Amber, those are some OG videos in there. Those are some OG.
And
I haven't even looked at it in like a minute. It's been a minute.
yeah, and people don't actually watch the first videos, and that's true of every channel, including the largest channels. They just kind of skip past those. So I wouldn't be too embarrassed. I would just start adding some content, and
Yeah.
that's really what I
Don't
want.
get me wrong, they're good videos. They're
Yeah,
good. They're good videos. The products have changed, but yeah, and this is one of the things that not a lot of people talk about with all these socials. Everybody follow me on IG, get with me on Discord, follow us on, join the Facebook group. There's all these different socials, but like every single one of those takes so much time. So much time just creating one video, unless it's like this style, I suppose. But like any video that has to be edited, and then you
right.
gotta overlay music. It's just like it's such a time consuming process that like if you're to say, oh, I want to upload a video a week, that's time. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
very time consuming.
exactly. So let's kind of put a pause pin here because I do have some time savers we can talk about more as we get toward the end, but I want to give you full focus.
Sure.
So you wanted to talk about packaging and branding, and I want you to have the floor. Just lay it all out there. What do we need to know?
Okay, so I don't have a script, so we're just kind of like going off top. Feel free to catch me on anything. Everybody in the room, which thank you guys for hopping in here. But I do, I can say I do think packaging is super, super, super underrated, especially for handmade creators because
Mm-hmm.
our business is unique in that
Mm-hmm.
we have to build a brand. We're not reselling someone else's brand. When we look at McDonald's and Starbucks and Walmart and all these Amazon, all these companies, there are certain branding and marketing things that make those businesses identifiable and etc. Right? We as handmade creators need like the color coding. We need the consistency
Mm-hmm.
right? Before opening it, you know what it is. We have to do the same thing, or at least aspire. Just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone receives a package from Melinda's Creations or Amberlicious or any handmade creator, you should be able to see the package goals, right? And go, oh, I know exactly who that's from. I know exactly where that's from. Um, Side note, sign your work, right? We all need to do better about signing our work because our products are kind of onesie twosie, and they're non-consumables for the most part, and so and also products that nobody really needs. Um, Handmade items are wants and wish fors and good to haves, cool to haves. They're not really like necessities, right? Like one could argue that food is different, but for the most part, basically we have to just it would behoove us, I think, to put more effort in there and not underrate it or shortchange the packaging because if someone can receive a package from you like
Mm-hmm.
3 years down the line and go, you know what, I know who that's from, then you've done something correct, right? Um, Again, like we're not piggybacking off other people's brands. We have to build our own from scratch. And so, giveaway, Brendan, you guys, if you can't see it too, swipe out and swipe back in. So I did bring a couple example things aside just from what I use.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. I don't think that packaging has to be anything crazy. I will say, uh, hashtag shop handmade, right? Handmade creators, I've purchased probably 90 some percent of the items that I've purchased on Whatnot are from handmade creators.
Mm-hmm.
And handmade people do have the best packaging. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's usually like handwritten notes in there.
Uh-huh.
There's usually something on the outside of the mailer or the box. There's usually like some little token of appreciation kind of sprinkled in there. Something thoughtful, always like an add-on. Because again, um, quality over quantity. It's like we're not we don't have the oh my god, I just got done with my live stream and I have this whole like 100 boxes to ship. Like that's not a handmade thing, right? That's a resell thing, like a high volume seller thing. So we like you can tell when you open something that extra time was taken to like make it special.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the products that I use,
Okay.
super simple. Um, Color coded to Whatnot actually. So I don't sell anywhere else. I'm very like
Okay.
uh, in regard to socials, it's like you can kind of
Yeah.
spread your energy 5 ways, or you can
Sure.
just focus it in one spot. I chose to focus it on Whatnot for now, at least. So yellow and black
Mm-hmm.
is my packaging, right? So I have like these different kinds of mailers that you could use. The boxes,
Yeah.
right? The shipping or the
Okay.
mailer, like rigid cardboard
Mm-hmm.
boxes. There's your standard bubble mailers. They make and these are just Amazon things. These are like non-bubble polys,
Okay.
right? So if you're doing like clothing or something like that, and then you have your like different kinds of envelopes, like a rigid
Mm-hmm.
mailer. Same things they have in the post office. They're just black. They're just black. These are my PWE,
Okay.
right? The plain white envelope. I have them in different sizes, but they don't have to be white envelope, right?
Yes.
I do put a little, whether this is blessed or not, I
Uh-huh.
put a little Whatnot logo
Okay.
on here so you can see that it's from Whatnot, and then you know that it's from me.
Okay.
Um, I put it in a location where you have to rip it off,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like reusable. So, but also it's like advertising, so I don't think anybody cares. But anyway, so this is my plain white envelope,
Mm-hmm.
and then gift cards go in these little guys,
Okay.
right? And then the little extra things go in these organza bags. So they're very um, basic
Mm-hmm.
products, but they're uniform. So like any 99% of the unless it's like some a one-off kind of order that I don't have like the stuff already, my packages are coming in those, and they have a little yellow Whatnot
Okay,
or Nathan.
so let's get some W's in the chat if you guys think that that packaging reflects well on custom wood burning. Let's give you some instant feedback. So if you like the packaging that she just covered, go ahead and just put some W's in the chat. So we know we're on the right path.
So it's funny. There are a few folks in here that have received packages from me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so there's that too. Amberlicious has fantastic packaging too. So does Bear with Honey. There's a few people here that I've received packages from, and
Cool.
it's good stuff. I would also add just a sprinkle on top that it's not just the outside; it is what's in the
Uh-huh.
package. I got a piece of. Oh, actually, can you guys see this piece of art up here?
It might be a little
Maybe
high.
congratulations.
Yeah, it might be a little high.
Custom. So it's probably a little bit high, but Moody Virgo Arts, one of my favorite artists on this platform, she just sent this painting, and it was in a like a mailer box, like a really fun to open, like cut down the center kind of mailer box. And then there are a couple things in there, but this specific painting was in a bubble sleeve, and then wrapped on the inside with like the tissue that it was basically wrapped like a gift. It was
Uh-huh.
basically wrapped like a gift. And so aside from the aesthetic from the outside, as you open the package, sometimes it can be like an experience. You know what I mean? So if it's like a couple of things, you can kind of layer it in. Um, Presentation matters because you feel some kind of way when you open stuff. If it seems like it's just kind of thrown in there, or if you're opening in a way that you're like, oh wow, this is an experience. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's the opening experience is the cherry on top.
Yeah, and you really did highlight the big divide or the main difference between handmade sellers or just art, anything that's not commercially made and widely produced. You've really differentiated that from the stuff that we can just go buy dozens of at a store and resell them one at a time and things like that, because those products usually have their own packaging or at least the brand associated with it. So I like the way that you explained using your packaging to reinforce that connection to the overall experience. Now, I don't have any comment on choosing any specific colors, but yeah, black and yellow are definitely recognizable with whatnot. So it's that reinforcement, and it looks really chic from what I saw on the screen there. But you,
I
yeah.
will add just one last note on that. There's something to be said about trust.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more difficult things I think with building a brand is you're building trust,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the more consistent our packaging is, the more trustworthy I think the seller is. If you were to, for instance, get three different packages from the same person, they were all three totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One was super buttoned up, one was completely thrown together, one looks like it was outsourced. You would maybe trust that as much as if you get three things and every single time it sets an expectation of this is what you can expect from me anytime in the future when you order something from me. You know what I mean? So there's that too.
Yeah. And so I do two seller supports alternating. So next week will be the ship show. And I'd love you to come on a future episode and really get into that, how to make that, wow presentation. Because I think no matter what you sell, it's when the buyer actually opens the package that it becomes real. A lot of what we do on camera is fun, exciting, but it's a production. We amp it up a little bit. But when they have the product in their hand and they unbox it, that's their real moment. And I think that is its own special topic. but I don't want to cut you off, but I wanted to hold on one second because my app just crashed. As soon as I said I don't want to cut you off, my app crashes. What is going on with that? Um, I'm still here. I'm still here. I don't know why that just happened. That is so funny. Sorry, folks. I don't know why that just happened. I'm sorry. My
You can swap the frames, the videos, if you want. There's like a button somewhere, I think probably over here, like an up down arrow.
okay.
Yeah, so
Can you see me?
yes, I saw that kind of height normal design has fantastic action.
Can you see me
One of
or
my favorites to get stuff from. I cannot see you.
okay? So let me leave the room and I'll come right back.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if that did any good. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, so I'm back. This is one of those features that can sometimes give us a little energy kick. Let me see if I can get custom wood burning back on here. Um, it would help if custom wood burning could type something or somebody could tag, because that way it's an easy process to co-host. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Oops. Uh, okay. Let's see if we're all refreshed. Okay.
Are we all back?
Yeah. Yeah.
All better.
Yeah, and the swap feature is good also for people who watch, when you're at work or you're in a meeting. If you go under the more button, you can turn the sound off that way, and then turn it back on when you can actually listen. So Whatnot has already thought of those things. And simply start a smarter shopping. Thank you so much for your purchase. You will get 60 days of rewatch on this video. Eventually, it will go out on YouTube, but I can't make any time commitment there because it does require a little bit of editing. So you'll get all this good information and you'll have it right away. And you just access that through your video receipt. I'm running another giveaway since we had some technical stuff. So enter that giveaway. What I really wanted to kind of steer our discussion toward is the the reality is a lot of people do giveaways and maybe even do show setups where even if they put their logo on it, it doesn't really get them a lot of mileage for, the item. So like on the shelves behind me, I've just picked random stuff. Uh, but if one was a custom piece, and I know you've worked with other sellers, so I want you to talk a little bit about something that might be useful, again, as a brand element that somebody could use in a show.
For giveaway specifically?
I'm thinking more for display, but then if there's a coordinating giveaway, absolutely.
So, yeah, shout out to the rulers. I don't know if there's a. Do you guys have a back feed? I have like a little bit of an echo on my end. Yeah, I don't know if something changed with the sound.
Okay, I just saw your square go blank. Okay,
Yeah, I think it's better now. I think it's
okay.
better now.
So I can't see you, but we're gonna keep it going. I can hear you.
Okay, I think everyone else is good sound, good picture. Um, so, so I think the question is about background
Yeah,
and then giveaways on top.
Yeah, like props and visual cues that somebody could have in their shows.
Andy with the ring. So I don't know that I'm the best example for background, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
This the first two I would say above all that ideally it's not it's clean
Okay.
to whatever degree. I don't know that like I've seen some shows where this background is extremely plain. This is a newer streaming location. I was streaming out from my kitchen table for like the first 2 years
Uh-huh.
almost. I was on the platform,
Okay.
and so my background was my fridge, and it was the side of my fridge, and I just had magnets and art, people's art and stuff that I got off Whatnot on there,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fine. And you know, and some people like really liked it. I had a little whiteboard on there. Like having this is a whiteboard.
Yes.
I just haven't put it up yet, but having like something for comms, like some messaging or logo, I
Uh,
don't think would be a terrible idea. But just having it, you know, when folks have like too much of their personal space in their background,
mm-hmm.
it can give off a not business vibe to
Right.
whatever degree, which everybody has to work with what they have, and so it just kind of depends on the individual situation.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's like a bed in the background with a pile of dirty laundry and like a cat box in the corner and like product on the bed and stuff like that's you know not as appealing as if the background is just kind of clean. I know Green 13 talks about staging a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some really good insight, but essentially if we're selling or if we're running a seller support show,
Mm-hmm.
we want our background set up in a way that it's not taking away from the product or the conversation, I suppose. So if it's not distracting, like have some eye candy, sure. But if I'm talking and it's difficult to pay attention to my words or my face because there's like something crazy happening in the background, then like that would be something to think about. Um, and very dork. And then so yeah, I would say, but if one was to design a background fully, I would say try to brand it to some degree. You know, this this is not this studio is a work in progress,
Mm-hmm.
but this piece of wood right here, I could bring it closer, I suppose, but it's the original. It's the very first thing I wood burnt. So it just has all on both sides. It's just a 2x4 scrap wood, but it has all these little tiny different wood burning pictures, inversed and otherwise, and it's going to be part of the mantle when it's done. So like for me, I feel like I need wood somewhere in the background because it would match the brand, right? But otherwise, I plan on having other people's art uh, for the most part up there. I don't know. Does anyone else have any like thoughts on background that I didn't touch on? And then for giveaways, I can touch on that really quick because I do have a lot of opinions on giveaways, but I suppose uh, two things. 100% agree. Brand it if able to.
Mm-hmm.
If if giveaways if giveaways are not created equal. Giveaways uh, incentivize different things.
Mm-hmm.
So they can incentivize a follow. They can incentivize a purchase if like via discounted shipping. They can incentivize repeat customers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you know maybe there's a coupon code sent. Maybe the packaging or the product is that was given away, that was chosen to be given away, is one that would encourage that person to want more
Mm-hmm.
of the thing. Uh, a lot of giveaways are catered to the PWE, right? Which I think is perfect because they can get expensive,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you're doing like almost $5 shipping per. So anything that can be
Mhm.
Ideally, it's something branded. My giveaways are always giftable cards,
Okay.
unless it's some kind of special occasion. Because aside from branding, I think one thing that not a lot of people or keep in mind, or a lot of people, or it just gets missed a lot, is having the product be usable in some way, having the giveaway um, hold some kind of value,
Mhm.
right? So if it's ephemera or repurposed stickers or something like that, like there are people who like that. But if it's something, I've heard of people giving away band-aids. Cool. Pop rocks, something edible, fruit leathers, like something I do, either birthday or thank you cards, like something that can be used, that's useful, because there's more value in something that's useful. Because I know from personal experience that a lot of giveaways you just can't do nothing with them, right? And so it's kind of a missed opportunity, in my opinion, because um, I feel like there's a lot of, once you're on the app for like a year or so,
Uh-huh.
you kind of stop entering giveaways because you're like, I want to know what it is first, because otherwise you just get kind of this pile or this drawer that kind of stacks up, or this basket of
Yeah.
stuff that you don't know what to do with it. Segregate is real, right? You just kind of forward it on, but it's like, we'll just so that's what I would say. Try to have something branded if possible. To do as I say, not as I do, and then having something usable to encourage a buyer, to capture a buyer out of it, because otherwise it's not a marketing expense, it's just burning money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let's remind ourselves when you come back on the ship show, we should talk about the difference between giveaway and throwaways. Um, and
That's a really good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it.
but we have
It's
a
the truth, though. It
yeah,
is.
we have a really good audience, so keep those questions coming. Right now your focus is whatnot, and that does require a lot of time commitment because of all the things that go into um, the whole process of starting the product, selling the product, and making sure you have a customer who can be a repeat buyer because they're that satisfied. Uh, Now, tell me, where do you find the biggest hurdle as far as growing your sales?
Customs. Customs all day. All day. It's the crux of the hand. It's one of the cruxes of the handmade space. Um, I haven't seen a single person figure out a good system for doing customs yet. The part of it is the 2 day shipping.
Okay.
A lot of handmade products have to have some kind of finishing curing time.
Uh-huh.
What for me, whether it's resin or oils or waxes or for painting, maybe it's like acrylic spray or something like that, like some kind of finishing work on top of it. So customs are hard for the 2 day time, but then customs are hard also because how do you? And I'm actually running into this issue right now. Revisiting, I opened up. I had to pause customs for a while, which are my favorite thing to do. So I'm determined to figure it out. But I
Yeah.
had to pause them for really the entire time that I was building this because they're time consuming, right? And you really can only do one at a time. And then so as soon as I was ready, which was a month or two ago, the beginning
Uh-huh.
of the summer, well, probably 2 months ago, I said, okay, cool, we're open for customs again. We can do custom orders.
Uh-huh.
But there's not a good system, and so it's just I was thinking actually originally we'll just take custom orders on Sundays for market day.
Okay.
We do a Sunday market, handmade and upcycle market every Sunday for the category. And so, but what I found out was people prefer DMs over live commissions. And so what ends up happening is you're in a position where you can only create, or you can only fulfill, depending on the craft, maybe one order a week. But
Mm-hmm.
if you get on average 3 to 4 orders a week, it's not sustainable, right? So there's an imbalance there. So then what do?
Uh-huh.
it's tricky. It's just tricky.
Yeah.
Taking payment, like how do you take if something's going to take 5 days to make?
Uh-huh.
Do you take the hit on shipping? Do you take the payment up front? Do you take it at the end and cross your fingers that they're going to come back? Because I've tried
Mm-hmm.
those ways and you will get stood up. I've spent 3 days making stuff for somebody and then they ghosted me when it came time to ship it to them. And so you can't, again, because you're one person, you can't sacrifice time in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only are you out that money, you're out the other money that you would have got had you not been working on that commission. So it's just really challenging. I'll let you know if I ever figure that out.
Yeah, and we
But I'm determined to, so we'll see.
yeah. We can talk more specifically about your business because every business owner has their own unique, uh, juggling act. Now, I'll tell you what has worked well for some people on Whatnot. The first one is we're always going to play by Whatnot's rules, and that does include the 2 day shipping. So, have you ever
Yeah.
tried contacting Trust and Safety and explaining that your average order requires additional time? Have you gone that direction?
Yes, which I actually do. I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but they did give me an extension. I talked to them very early on
Okay.
in my Whatnot ventures, and they did give me a permanent extension,
Okay.
basically saying where you can ship within the time, do that. But
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while, if it doesn't make the 2 day, like we're not going to hit you too hard for it. Um, the only thing with that is it's still, and I know the shipping time is an average, but it still shows,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not getting in trouble for it,
Mm-hmm.
like your account health is still good, it will still show, like present as though you have slow shipping when
Mm-hmm.
in reality that's just like a handful of commissions that took a little longer. So you don't get in trouble, but still, like a lot of people are deterred if they see 3 day shipping, for
So
instance. And so,
yeah, so you've definitely taken the first step. The other part of that equation, and I haven't explained this on YouTube, so this is exactly perfect. What I've found with sellers who do custom pieces, whether it's going to be something that's embroidered, engraved, or in the case with custom wood burning, you're actually going to take fire and burn a design on a piece of wood, which is really cool. So that cannot be done quickly, and you can't rush it. So what I've seen is now that we have the ability to set the shipping as low as the cost of a ship postage stamp, um, what will happen is for custom orders, the seller will actually do a design and sell the design as the first part of the sale, and then the customer pays for the design and they get like a printout or something, maybe even just a thank you card, because we can do things digitally a lot faster than the mail sometimes. But we'll
yeah,
we'll still meet that 48-hour deadline by making sure we are sending them confirmation, and especially a packing slip is confirmation that they've paid their design fee. Then, when the piece is ready, they make a second purchase, and at that point, you'll put the correct shipping amount on it. So it's not unbelievable to pay $500 for a design and $50 for a shipping. I mean, depending on what you sell. But the idea is you do want the customer committed to that design because, like you said, if they're just kind of like, well, I'll decide when I see it, that's not going to work. For custom work, I've sold millions of dollars of furniture and home decor, and the standard practice is to take 50% non refundable, period, up front. That's standard. But that assumes you've got big industry connections. If you're doing it 100% on your own, I think your design work could be 80% of your total, 90% of your total, because that's really your artistry coming out. And then the actual piece, finished piece itself, I mean, that's the result of your design. So, you can kind of skew things where you'll have enough money to buy materials and complete the project, but you're not scamming anybody, and the customer knows what they're getting.
I like that, and actually, that's probably going to be the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that because essentially it's a down payment, and like you say, a commitment
Yes.
to the full purchase. Because if you've already paid half, you're vested at that point. So, I guess on the plus side too, you get two sales instead of one for the thing. I do like that, and that
Well,
probably
well,
sending the design
yeah,
PWD specifically is a really good idea. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and the two sales is, I mean, that for number count, that's fine, but it does mirror or mimic what other industries do. So if you hire a construction firm to build your dream house, you're not going to be able to start work without putting at least 50% up front. And they will have you sign off on the design, like, yes, this is what I'm agreeing to. So I think it's just kind of looking at it from a different perspective. uh, Now, for situations where somebody does say, no, I don't want that design, or this just isn't what I had in mind, you as a seller can decide what your policy is going to be, if you'll do a revision, or maybe just say, okay, well, in that case, I can't complete the order, so that might qualify as a refund. But I think if you break it down into those two parts and the customer understands they've got to pay to get it started, and then when you're ready to ship, they're going to make that final payment, whatever you're calling it. But call it something separate.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that's worked well in some categories.
I will try it, and I will report back.
And I do want to have you come back because you've got so many amazing ideas. The other thing is, let me just let you kind of get in your last words, because then I'm going to talk about time savers for doing YouTube.
Ugh, last words. That anything?
Yeah, yeah,
What
whatever you.
sounds specific? Let's see. Promo?
Okay,
Even?
okay.
Okay, so for those in here who are not familiar with me, I guess I should have introduced myself out the gate. My name is Tamika Crow. Of Custom Wood Burning, I do heat gun art. My motto essentially is art with utility. So I aspire to bring wood products that are usable in some kind of way. Uh, any unfinished wood is pretty much fair game. I do a cat show every Tuesday talking about whatnot, some different kind of vocal topic specific to live selling with a admittedly biased lens to arts and handmade, but things that apply to all sellers on whatnot, and then some events and news kind of things sprinkled in there. I do a market show every Sunday through the summer, and then live demos on typically Fridays, but and it's like a demo and auction, like a make and an auction. Today's Thursday. I bumped tomorrow's show up early to today, so in about 2 hours, I'll be here making some artist trading cards live because today is Artisans Showcase
Uh
Day
huh.
on Whatnot. So they have over 100 sellers. I think this show is tagged in it as well, where they kind of created the shared template and they're spotlighting the whole category because it's very like up and coming. The growth in the arts and handmade category has been insane over the
Mm-hmm.
last year. Everybody here today is future OGs of the space, and we're the builders, and it's very Wild West. That's why a lot of something like commissions and customs hasn't been figured out yet. There's not a whole lot of full time arts and handmade sellers on the platform.
Uh huh.
It is a really fantastic space to be in with the rate trains. The community is fantastic. There's so much talent and creative genius around this space. It blows my mind daily. So that's all day today. Artists getting spotlit, and then I do rates here and there. And then last plug is there's a Whatnot handcrafted artisan Facebook page that we're using for comms. There's about 250 makers over there to event share and collaborate on different things. So I very much invite any makers to join over there and visit on Tuesdays for the chat show because the more we work together, the more we grow together, period. So that's
You
what I got.
you just gave the perfect clip. If anybody has not used the clip feature, off to the side on your mobile device, you should see it. If you don't see a clip button, then you go under more and it should be there. But everybody should be clipping what you just said. That is one of the first shortcuts when it comes to getting YouTube content out of your shows. Just use clips and, if you've already clipped them, they're super easy to get onto the YouTube platform. The other thing is shorts. Shorts will grow your channel. Shorts are the foundation of YouTube now. So building up those subscriber bases, you've got to have shorts. And shorts can be 7 seconds, anything less than 3 minutes, but the most common lengths are going to be 15 seconds and 30 seconds. But they can be short. They can be one sentence. They can be just a reaction like, wow. So shorts are short. And if you put up those once every day, twice a day, whatever you can do, you're going to start to see your channel grow. Then you can build out your long form, especially if you're doing the live shows as a simulcast, because you'll be able to pull some of that video, edit it or trim it, however you want to do it. And then you've got all three shelves covered. And so that is the easiest way to start and grow a YouTube channel. And Whatnot makes it super convenient because it's the one platform where we are using and creating video every day to sell our stuff. We're going to let the last giveaway run, and then we're going to raid somebody.